If you're thinking about buying a BYD, stop. Because these 5 mistakes have already burned thousands of buyers. Some losing over $7,000 in hidden fees, battery issues, and resale losses. And the worst part, most of them didn't realize it until it was too late. This video might save you a ton of money, stress, and regret. So before you sign anything, let's talk about what not to do when buying a BYD. BYD is undeniably one of the smartest EV choices right now. The prices are competitive, the tech is improving, and the Blade battery legit impressive. But don't get fooled. Buying a BYD can also be a minefield if you don't know what to watch out for. And these are the top 5 traps BYD buyers keep falling into over and over again. Because let's get one thing straight, not all BYDs are built the same. The Dolphin, that's your budget-friendly city car, compact, lightweight, simple tech. The Atto 3, a crossover with more space, better finish, and a decent infotainment system. The Seal is BYD's premium contender, faster motors, better range, sharper handling. And here's where people screw up. They assume all BYDs come with the same Blade battery, the same features, and the same reliability, just in different shapes. Wrong. Some models use different chemistries. Some skip features like adaptive cruise or fast charging, even when they look identical online. But buyers get blinded by the price. They click the cheapest option, skip the spec sheet, and then wonder why their EV doesn't do what the reviewer said. So here's the rule. Don't shop BYD by name, shop by spec. Every model is a different experience, and the fine print matters. Moving on to a hidden fact way too many BYD buyers learn the hard way, the dealership trap. You walk in thinking you're getting a great deal. BYD's prices are already competitive, right? Then the dealer hits you with this. There's a mandatory paint protection fee. You'll need ceramic coating. Delivery prep is non-negotiable, it's policy. Spoiler, it's not. Across Reddit, TikTok, forums, the stories pile up. People being charged thousands for tint, floor mats, and GPS tracking devices they didn't ask for. Urgent fees, pre-installed add-ons, fake deadlines. Even worse, some dealers intentionally bottleneck delivery. They delay release just long enough to make you desperate, then slide in surprise costs you feel pressured to accept. It's not every BYD dealer, but it's happening often enough to be a trend. Here's the rule. Trust the car, not the person selling it. Ask for a full cost breakdown before signing anything. If something feels off, walk away. There's always another BYD. There's not always another clean deal. So let's say you dodge the dealer traps. You got the right model, the right price. You're golden, right? Not quite. In theory, BYD's infotainment looks decent. Big screens, custom interface, voice control, navigation, apps. But in real life, it's still catching up. Across forums and owner groups, you'll hear the same story. Buggy UI, slow boot up, Bluetooth that randomly disconnects, touch controls that lag, voice assistants that misfire. And worst of all, OTA updates aren't guaranteed. Depending on your country or even your dealer, you might get updates. Or you might be stuck with whatever version came pre-installed. Some owners are driving 2023 models that still run 2022 software. Missing key features, no bug fixes, and unless you push for it, most dealers won't even bring it up. Now BYD absolutely nails hardware. The Blade battery has a failure rate below 0.3%, one of the safest, most thermally stable battery chemistries out there. But that polish doesn't extend to the software. And in 2025, software matters a lot. From range prediction to parking sensors to in-car climate, it's all digital. And when the software falls short, the whole experiment feels cheap. So if you're buying a BYD, don't just test drive the handling. Test drive the interface. Check for the current software version. Ask if updates are OTA or service only, because a clunky system in a great car still ruins the drive. The next big mistake you can make when buying BYD is skipping real-world range testing. Here's the thing, BYD, like most automakers, quotes range using WLTP or CLTC cycles. Those tests are done in ideal conditions, low speeds, warm weather, flat roads. Great for headlines, terrible for highways. Take the BYD Atto 3 as an example. Advertised WLTP range around 420 kilometers. Real world on the highway? Try 300, maybe less. That's a 25 to 30% drop in some cases. Owners consistently report this, especially when driving above 100 kilometers per hour or in colder climates. And there's another hidden issue, rapid gate. It's a thermal throttling phenomenon. When the battery gets too hot after long highway runs or repeated fast charges, the system slows down charging speeds to protect the pack. It's smart engineering, but if you're on a road trip, it means your 30-minute charge can stretch to over an hour. So don't just believe the brochure. Test the range yourself. Mix city and highway driving. Try a fast charge from under 10%. See how it holds up in heat or hills. Because a car rated for 340 kilometers that only gets 270 when you need it, that's a planning problem waiting to happen. And when it comes to EVs, range anxiety is very real. Okay, so you're sold on the car. It drives well, the price was right, and you're already imagining your first road trip. But here's the final trap, and it's a big one. Not checking resale or the service network. Let's start with a resale. In China, BYD cars are priced aggressively, but in export markets, that price jumps a lot. We're talking 80% to 178% higher depending on the region. So when it comes time to sell, you're competing in a space where people can import newer models cheaper, or they're still unfamiliar with the brand. This simply means that depreciation hits hard, especially outside Asia, where BYD's resale track record is still maturing. Now let's talk service. In places like Australia, Chile, and parts of Europe, owners are already dealing with months-long delays for parts. One Reddit user waited weeks for a replacement side mirror. Another, 6 months for a headlight, not because BYD won't fix it, but because the infrastructure just isn't there yet. You're not buying a Toyota with a global parts pipeline. You're buying into a brand that's still building its international footprint. So while that cheap sticker price looks great on day one, it can start to feel expensive fast if your car is stuck at the shop waiting for a part that's still on a boat from Shenzhen. Bottom line, don't just ask what's the price. Ask, what's the resale like in your country? How far is the nearest certified BYD repair center? How long will I wait if something breaks? Because a cheap EV with no support can turn into a luxury problem real fast. Which BYD do you think is the safest buy right now? Comment below, I'm curious. Alright, before we wrap, here are a couple of points I think are really worth mentioning, because these trip people up more than you'd think. Never assume a BYD is Tesla. BYD is crushing sales, but let's be clear, it's not Tesla. There's no supercharger network, no polished global support structure or tightly integrated app ecosystem. What you get is great value hardware, but not the seamless Tesla experience. So if you're switching from a Model 3 or Y, expect a learning curve. Also, try not to ignore important rules and tariffs. This one hurts. In many countries, BYD models are slapped with import duties, emission taxes, or delivery fees that don't show up on the spec sheet. That $30,000 sticker price could balloon to $40,000 by the time it's in your driveway. So don't just look at the car. Look at the final invoice before making a decision. Your next car is a serious investment. It's not just about money, it's about time, trust, and living with something every single day. Don't get burned by the fine print or flashy marketing. If this helped you, tap on that like button and notification button. And while you're down there, hit subscribe. Coming up next, we'll be looking at $1 versus $2.5 million EV, the ultimate comparison. See you in the next one.